could literally mean just that. And you are no longer able to hold them accountable when they invest your money in these 401ks and your 401ks, your pensions into these private equity and private credit markets, which are in a bubble that is bursting in real time, that is begging for a bailout right now of $12 trillion. Well, conveniently, right now, in dry powder available in the 401k structures, there's about $12.8 trillion available. And so as long as they pass this rule, your 401k is going to be free range for these billionaires to get bailed out of their own bad investments. The same investments that Harvard and Yale have pulled out of, the same bad investments that JP Morgan just cut off lending to, the same bad investments that at Blue Owl, at BlackRock, at Blackstone have had to now halt withdrawals because there's a run on the banks because they're all bad investments in, wait for it, data centers that are all funded by private credit market.
Everybody's running out of money. The government is running out of money. Private equity is running out of money. Businesses are running out of money. The consumer is running out of money. And they just all out of gas right now, right? A lot of the industries, that the consumer put their money into, the stock market and many other, money printing machines, listen, they just don't have it anymore, right? And because they don't have it anymore, they're trying to figure out whichever way possible could we get all of this money. How can we essentially bail out the elites, right? When the government usually is the one that does it. How can we bail out the elites, right? How can we bail out private equity? How can we stop the stock market from making a full-blown crash? They plan on taking you guys' 401ks. Yep. They plan on stealing you guys' 401ks. They plan on using the American people's 401k to essentially bail out private equity, right? And private equity has been fueling many industries in America. I mean, this has been going on for 10, 20 plus years. I mean, Silicon Valley is essentially private equity enhanced, right? The stock market, private equity. A lot of you guys' ability to borrow is due to private equity. And I've been sounding the alarm on these type of things for the longest now. I've been sounding the alarm. I've been telling you guys, hey, listen, you guys who think that you're about to retire, you guys who think that you're just about to, run off with that retirement, for those of you who even have retirement in the first place, right? And then for those of you who just got a little retirement set aside, listen, they're getting ready to take that. And you're probably asking, okay, so how's this going to play out long term, right? There's going to be many instances where many accounts are going to be illiquid, right? Many accounts are going to be illiquid, meaning that you're not going to be able to pull your money out, bucko, right? Oh, yes, this is coming. This is coming. This is coming down the pipeline. And then, like everything else, it is setting up for them to essentially trap you. It's setting it up for them to essentially, right, monitor your every move. This is a part of the surveillance state, right? This is a overreach and overlapping of the surveillance state, right? You're not going to be able to pull your money out. And I believe that the laws, the rules are coming down the pipeline as we speak from the Trump administration from the last time that I heard. You can double check this. You can go ahead and check your resources, check your sources. You can do the research yourself. But they plan on locking people's money up. So we're talking about bank accounts. We're talking about investments accounts. We're talking about 401ks. A lot of these things are going to be, you're not going to be able to pull these out, right? Especially if the bank need the money. Especially if these investments accounts, they need the money. You're not going to be able to pull it because they're actively using it. And you kind of seen a little bit of this when gold had spiked, right? Everybody was trying to buy gold, right? Everybody was trying to buy gold, but they essentially shut down gold purchases. Not that they ran out of gold. They said they ran out of gold, but not that they ran out of gold. It was because they were trying to control the market, right? And this is what it all comes down to. It essentially comes down to the control of the consumer and the control of the market, so that the people on top of the market continue to have a upper hand on everything that's going on, right? And people are so busy, bickering and fighting and, who's done this, who shot who, right? Who's beefing with who, like, just a typical bread and circus. Everybody is so busy, watching that type of news, when essentially they're taking all of your rights, right? They're planning on taking all of your money, which honestly they've been doing for decades. This is just another revenue source for them to be able to pocket, right? So what's next for the future? What's next as of now? People need to have a great cash position at this point. You need to have a cash position. You need to have a hard asset position at this point, right? Because if you have your monies, right, stored digitally, they can take that stuff, man. Especially if it's on a public network, public ledger, right? They can essentially take that stuff. If it's on one of these platforms, they can lock it up. Remember what happened with was it Reddit or GameStop? Remember what happened with GameStop, right? Right? The consumer essentially, manipulated the market, manipulated the prices of GameStop. The elites were like, oh, hell no, you don't. So they locked up people's money, right? They locked up the ability to buy and sell GameStop. When it was time to pull out money, they locked it up, right? And Robinhood, and it was done by Robinhood. Robinhood has done this before, even outside of the GameStop situation. So these things are not unheard of, right? They're not unheard of at all. But it is unheard of to the general population. It's unheard of for them to tap into 401ks to be able to fund private equity so we can spit some more money into the market, just so the elites can get even more richer than they already are. And again, nobody has any money right now, right? The money is running dry out here, man. Listen, folks. It's time to hunker down. It's time to start making some real moves out here, right? Some risky moves, some risque moves out here. Because if you don't, let me tell you something, y'all. If you continue to stay the same within this current environment, if you continue to stay the same within this current climate, you're going to be on the brink of, not even on the brink, because it's already happening. Many people are homeless out here, right? Many people are starving out here. Many people are losing homes. This is supposed to be where the cycle that we're in right now. This is supposed to be worse than 2008. Some are even saying, some experts are even trying to compare it to the Great Depression. Some may say that it could get worse than the Great Depression. And what's accelerating it is technology. What's accelerating it is AI, right? These are the things that's accelerating it. The old guard is gone. I mean, we still got old bastards in the office, but the old system is gone. They're bringing in a new system. And when you bring in a new system, guess what has to happen to the old? It has to be completely destroyed. It has to be completely eradicated, right? And that's exactly what they're doing. But simultaneously, they plan on stealing your money and using your money to fund the new system, because they don't have any money to fund the new system. So guess what? They need a jump start, right? They need jumper cables. And the jumper cables are going to be your 401k, right? You can check out what BlackRock has said. You can check out many sources of who has said this, but it's already coming down the pipeline, right? And many of you who are in the upper echelon for your 401ks, I suggest you probably you probably want to take that penalty on the chin and go ahead and start cashing out on your 401ks. For you guys who are retiring or plan on retiring over the next 10 years, I suggest you probably already go ahead and cut the rope on this, right? I suggest you go ahead and cash out. I suggest you go ahead and find somewhere to move your money, somewhere to store your money, something of value, some asset, a hard asset, like I said. I suggest you should go ahead and start doing this, because over these next few years, not even a few years, right? Because stuff is, there's a lot of things that has been happening, right, over these past few months that you would think would have just happened over a year span. No, things are happening fast, gentlemen. Things are happening extremely fast, and you got to move fast as well. So for you guys who are on the brink of retirement and you have a substantial amount of money sitting in your 401k, I suggest you go ahead and take that penalty and go ahead and cash out and take your money, right? Because there's going to become a point in time where you're not going to be able to pull your money out, right? And they're not going to tell you anything either. They're not going to tell the general population this. This news is circulating amongst investors. This news is circulating amongst the financial gurus, right? This news is circulating amongst the people who are actually paying attention. This is not just the general news that they're reporting on Fox and CNN and MSNBC. This is not regular news, right? So they're not going to tell you anything until it's time to take out your money, right? Until it's time to take out your money. And listen, folks, they've already seen how far they can take things, right? And this is what I keep telling y'all. All the things that you Americans are letting slide, it is nothing more than a slippery slope. That's all that it is. It is a slippery slope for them to continue to trample on your rights. It is a slippery slope for them to continue to take your money. It's just a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope for them to continue to enslave you and make you indentured servants, right? This is just a slippery slope. Y'all keep letting everything else slide. So they're like, hell, we might as well go ahead and take some money on top too. We might as well go ahead and take some money right off top. They ain't gonna miss a dime. They ain't even gonna know, right? So I'm sounding an alarm on all of this because you got a lot of people who are still in the dark, man. You got a lot of people who are still in the dark. Whoa, I've never been up here before. Let's climb up here, see what's going on. Ooh. As y'all see, man, I just be out here seeing what's going on. You know, climbing up these hills. It's nice to see construction. It's nice to see things being built from scratch, right? Very nice to see things being built from scratch, buildings and, you know, life or what have you. It's just nice to see things being built from scratch. I love this kind of stuff. I'll plan out a chair right here if it wasn't so goddamn hot and just sit out here and watch them work. But they're done with work as it seems like, but right. And even though money has dried up, guess what? You still have people who are going to buy those. They're still building. So the money is coming from somewhere. The money's coming from somewhere, and maybe they still have some money. Maybe they still have some money circulating. Let's get this lighting right. Maybe they still have some money circulating, right? Maybe it's a little bit still circulating. But I guess, you know, when your tank start to get on E, you get down to a quarter tank. I think that we're down to a quarter tank, ladies and gentlemen. We're down to a quarter tank. And now they're saying before we even get on E, let's go ahead and take some of this money, right? Let's go ahead and lock up some of this money. What's the best way for us to get billions of dollars worth of capital without the government having to step in? And mind you, 401ks, you know, was something that, you know, was created by the government, right? IRAs created by the government. So they're essentially saying that, hey, shit, we have the say so on this. We're going to have the say so on this. And, you know, nobody's going to do a dang on thing about it. So this just a money video. decided to switch it up a little bit. Y'all let me know how I did. Was I informative? Probably could have been a little bit more, savvy with, my sources or whatever, but you let me know what you guys think. You also got to do your due diligence as well. Go in and do some research on 401ks getting locked up, government locking up 401ks, and allowing private equity to use these 401ks to, uphold the stock market and everything else that's been funded by private equity. The whole United States essentially runs off of private equity. I hope y'all know that. But anyway, listen, the after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live, in purpose, in freedom, and in power. Listen, come over and join the Patreon. Come over and join the family. Our first networking event will be in Cartagena, Colombia at the end of the year, December to January, right? If you want to take things a step further and you want to become a part of an intense group of like-minded individuals and you want to get your life right, you want to get your finances right, you want to get your mind right, knowledge right, come over to the Patreon and join the inner circle, and we will take care of you. And I will see you guys over there. Peace.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here, and I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint, PFP life, a way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The escape blueprint, PFP life.